Welcome to the training module for our scheduling application Rufus Time, run through Acuity Scheduling. What is it? Acuity is a tool for students, staff, and faculty to schedule time with a technician to get help with their technology devices. There are several different facets to this tool, so pay close attention to make sure you understand how it works for administrators versus users. I'm going to start by showing you the administration console and the different tools you have to offer service to our users. I will show you what the service desk staff do to support our users, and then show you how you fit into the equation as an STC. Our approach to the service desk has changed from how we previously offered service, changing from a first-come, first-served system to an appointment-based system. Acuity is broken up into different queues to schedule appointments into. These queues represent the roles we have within the service desk. Bobcat Bar Staff. This is for our full-time staff member that will be working with you at the service desk. This queue will largely be used for device pickup appointments for staff, faculty, and students, but can also facilitate a Rufus Time appointment for staff and faculty. Checked-in technician. This is for a full-time staff member that will be working on all of the checked-in machines. This includes staff, faculty, and student computers. As a student, you will be assigning checked-in work to this queue once you determine that the issue will take longer than a 10-minute appointment at the service desk. Half Dome 172. This queue is for the student worker in the housing office, Half Dome 172, to support users both in the office and at the students' dorm rooms. Phone remote support. This queue is for the service desk staff to provide support remotely by logging into a staff or faculty computer and troubleshooting. Rufus Time. This is your queue for the classroom and office building service desk for students. You will be scheduling students that walk into the service desk here. This may mean that the user can still be seen immediately, but for organization purposes, we require you to schedule them an appointment. This is to keep expectations to our users the same, no matter how they try to contact us. If another student comes in 1 minute after you started helping someone, and they scheduled the time slot that you are using to help the first user that came in, our users won't be very happy. So please use this tool to your advantage and inform users of when to expect service. Our last queue currently is the travel technician queue. This is for our service desk staff to use for scheduling support appointments for staff and faculty when we cannot determine the issue with a remote support appointment. Now that we have gone over all the different queues in Acuity, I will show you the individual appointment types that live in each queue. Every queue has a specific appointment type that the assigned technician will be expected to perform. It will be very important that you all understand these appointment types, as you will be scheduling staff and faculty for some of these appointments. Bobcat Bar Staff. As I stated previously, this will primarily be used to schedule device pickups for staff, faculty, and students. This appointment type is labeled as device pickup and is 15 minutes long to allow enough time for our staff at the service desk to set up the user with their device and go over what we did for them, along with signing them into any services necessary. The other appointment type for the Bobcat Bar Staff Technician is a Rufus Tech Time appointment. This appointment type is for staff and faculty, but currently cannot be scheduled by anyone other than administrators. This is a 10-minute appointment designed for our staff member to intake a device or perform simple troubleshooting, much like the student's Rufus Time appointment. It's just scheduled with our staff member. Checked-in technician. There are only 3 types of appointments in this queue: student device troubleshooting, staff faculty device troubleshooting, and a mobile device check-in appointment. You will be using these appointments for any device that we cannot address the issue in a typical 10-minute appointment or offer a self-service option. This queue is used to organize the checked-in devices to ensure they are worked on in an appropriate order. You will be able to use this queue to let a user know how long it may take for one of our technicians to address the issue. These are all 30-minute appointments for our staff technicians to troubleshoot the issue, and if the issue cannot be resolved in the 30-minute appointment window, another checked-in appointment will be made for the device in the next available appointment slot by the checked-in technician. Phone remote support. There are 8 different appointment types for the phone remote support technician that will be one of the service desk technicians. It's imperative that you understand these types of services that we provide to our staff and faculty in the situation that remote support would be the best option for the user. This would be a situation where someone walks into the service desk and cannot leave their computer with us to troubleshoot with the checked-in technician. We can then offer them a remote support appointment so one of our technicians can remotely log into their computer and address the issue. These appointment types are software troubleshooting, printer troubleshooting, computer purchase quote consultation, device encryption, distribution list, mobile device support, single sign-on NetID, and voicemail reset. We are relying on you to understand what services can be performed remotely and which will need an in-person technician. Please try to schedule an appointment for remote support before sending a travel technician to their workspace. For instance, if a user needs a departmental printer set up on their computer or is having trouble with the printer, this is something we can troubleshoot remotely. While if they have a new printer that needs to be connected to the network, we will need to send a travel technician. In this example, you will see that the phone remote support technician has printer troubleshooting as an appointment type, while the travel technician has printer installation troubleshooting appointment type. Since we are talking about the travel technician, let's go over the tasks that our staff travel technician is expected to perform. As a student, we expect you to be scheduling staff and faculty to the Bobcat Bar staff or a remote support technician before offering a travel technician appointment. The service desk expects our students to understand when the need of the user is either unique or something that can really only be done at the user's location. Not just what the user wants, but what we can actually offer them. That being said, these are the appointment types for the travel technician: software troubleshooting, hardware troubleshooting, printer installation troubleshooting, network activation troubleshooting, cell phone support, static IP request, consultation training, and device deployment. Now on to the appointment queues you SDCs will be responsible for. There are 2 queues you will be managing: the Rufus Time queue and the Half Dome 172 queue. The Rufus Time queue will be for appointments at the service desk in Classroom and Office Building 132. This queue only has one appointment type associated: Rufus Time appointments. This will be for students to schedule time with you to gather information about the issue and determine if this is a service you can perform in the 10-minute appointment. Typical services we would provide in the 10-minute appointment would be connecting to Wi-Fi, connect to VPN, printer configuration for UCM Print or PrawPrint depending on their affiliation, antivirus installs, and providing instructions on how to install Office. You are not limited to offering these services, and we rely on your personal judgment to understand if this is something you can complete in the appointment time. I will provide some examples in a moment. The last appointment types are for Half Dome 172. There's a 15-minute Rufus Time appointment carried out in the Half Dome office for walk-ins or people who schedule it themselves. Lastly, we have a 30-minute dorm run request, which will be scheduled in the user's dorm room. Both of these appointments are available to be scheduled by the user through itsupport.acuityscheduling.com. The Half Dome office will offer the same services that the service desk in the Classroom and Office Building 132 offers, with the exception of being able to check in computers. You have an extra 5 minutes with the user in the appointments and should have sufficient time to diagnose the issue, provide a resolution, or options for further support. This sums up our appointment queues and appointment types for all the service desk. I'm now going to review your individual positions and locations and give you a better understanding of the responsibilities based on your work location. The service desk in Classroom and Office Building 132 will typically have 2 student workers working at any given time, with only one available queue for Rufus time. This was done on purpose. One student technician will be expected to run the Rufus time queue and address any appointments scheduled. This will be the main responsibility of STCs at the service desk and will run from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. The second student worker at the service desk will be there to address walk-in customers, quickly triage issues, and assess if the user just needs some information, if they need an appointment with one of our technicians, or to simply check in the computer for service. It's very important to the service desk that our users are provided service as soon as possible and with as many options as we can offer them. So what does a 10-minute appointment entail? Listening to customers' needs, offering a resolution and options and a time expectation, creating a ServiceNow work order or request, and possibly trying a couple things to resolve or inform the user on how to obtain service. This may be checking in the computer, pointing the user to online resources, or sharing our software box folder, for example. A great example of this would be a student coming into the service desk with a suspected virus on their computer. The user's already informed us of the suspected issue, and in this case, the machine should be immediately checked in by creating a ServiceNow work order and an appointment added to the checked-in technician queue. The user shouldn't have to come back just to appease the appointment process. However, this can be an option offered to the student. In this example, I would tell the user, if there's a virus, we would like to check in the computer to run our scans on it and clear the virus for you. This typically takes us a few hours to run the scans once the technician starts work on it. We can start this process for you right now, or if you would like to speak with a technician further about the issue and check in the computer, we can schedule a Rufus time appointment for you. You're also welcome to download and run some of the tools we typically use to clean viruses off of your computer, such as Malwarebytes and Super Anti-Spyware. If after running that software you continue to have issues, you're always welcome to come and schedule a Rufus time appointment with us so we can look into the issue further and we'll likely check in the computer. In this instance, we have given the user 3 options to obtain service from us. Number 1, immediate service by checking in the device. Number 2, schedule a Rufus time appointment so the user can return at their convenience, now knowing how long it typically takes for us to perform what is requested. And number 3, perform the scans themselves and return with a Rufus time appointment if the issue persists. It's important to the user to feel that they have options to get their item fixed, as this not only makes you look educated about the issue, but on the process to complete, even if you don't really know how to solve the issue yourself. It also puts the user in control of the situation when they feel they have options from us instead of the IT technician telling them what needs to be done. The library has been left out of this queue because we expect you to offer service just like the second student at the service desk. You will be providing information to our users on how to get service and schedule Rufus time appointments. You will be expected to configure Wi-Fi for users and direct them to typical services we offer our students, such as VPN, Office, antivirus, printer setup, and troubleshooting the library printers. There are a few different ways technicians can schedule appointments for users, and I would like to touch on each of them so you have a good understanding of the system. You can select the new appointment from the top bar. This will give you all of the appointment types for each of the queues and will automatically select the proper technician based on your selection. This option gives you the most flexibility and options, but be aware that you can create custom times here, which is not advised. The second way to schedule an appointment is by selecting the calendar itself under the queue you would like to schedule to. This will give you the appointment types specific to that queue and nothing else. Again, as an administrator, you have the ability to schedule custom times, which is not advised. Thirdly, there are specific client scheduling pages found on the left-hand column. Here you can select a specific appointment type and get the customer view of appointment scheduling. You cannot create custom times in this view, so this is a good thing to send to a customer if they have a specific need. For example, if you are helping a staff member who walked into the service desk and they need help with configuring some software on their computer, you can use the client scheduling link and have the user pick a time for us to call for a remote support appointment. Remember, everything publicly available is through itsupport.acuityscheduling.com. This concludes the Acuity training. If you have any questions or need clarification, please let your student supervisor know, and they can spend some time with you reviewing this tool.